Hi, this is Rick Bice with Bice Fit Exercises on behalf of Edmonds Park and Recreation. Today we're going to go through a circuit training class. What we'll do is we'll alternate between strength training exercises for the muscles, bones, and connective tissues, and then cardiovascular exercise for the heart, lungs, and circulatory system. What we'll do, it's all timed, so what we'll do is we'll do a minute on an exercise. We'll take a 30-second break. We'll do another minute on the same exercise or something very similar, and then we'll move on to the next exercise. So I'll call all those out as they happen. What you'll need for this exercise program today is a chair over here, maybe some light to medium dumbbells, and some resistance tubing or band. Maybe light or medium, whatever you have on that. With or without handles, doesn't matter on that. We will begin with a warm-up. We will go through the exercises, then we'll finish off with a cool down and then some stretches at the end. This is all at your own pace, so we strive for a minute's worth of work. If you need to take your breaks, quicker than that, or if by the end of the minute you're not tired or fatigued, you could just go straight through that break that we have. So it's all up to you, the kind of resistance you use, whatever works for your body. Make sure your surrounding area is clear, that you've got room to move around, arm's width sort of stuff at least. You have a proper footwear for the floor that you have. If you've got slippery hardwoods, make sure that you're wearing good shoes that aren't going to slip and slide. If you've got thick carpet, making sure that your feet aren't going to get, isn't going to get caught on the carpet or something and trip you up. So just being careful. All right, let's begin. Okay, let's start our warm-up here. So a little bit of moving side to side here, some side stepping. We're going to about 2 minutes of warm-up. We just want to get the body ready for activity. We're going to grease up the joints with the synovial fluid, get some blood flow, bringing oxygen and nutrients to all the muscles and parts of the body that are going to need it a little bit more with this exercise. We'll add a little bit of grab and pull at chest height across your body. Nice and easy. By the end of the 2 minutes, you might be barely breaking a sweat. We want to get the heart rate elevated slightly, breathing elevated slightly, stretching out the lungs, but that's it. We just want the joints kind of moving around a little bit. Nothing big. This is not a cardio. Nice and easy. Now let's get that up a little higher with the hands. Switch to punches. Punch up and across your face here. All right, let's just get to some regular marching here. Marching with some bicep curls, just in place. Small march. If you're having issues with the feet pounding and impact, and then just keep those toes on the ground the whole time. If you have issues with that, otherwise, bringing the whole foot off the ground as you march and move. We got about 30 seconds. Let's switch to a ladder climb here. Marching those knees up as high as you feel comfortable. Shoulder pressing straight up. Palms will face in or forward. And of course, just breathing. Always breathing. Keep going. We got 10 more seconds. Muscles should be warming up. Body should be getting a little bit of heat generated. Ready for more activity. All right, nice job. Okay, so first one we're going to need is your chair and a couple dumbbells. All right. So, a couple dumbbells here. I'll grab these. So, 3 exercises in one. We're going to do with our sit to stand, with a lean back, and then a bicep curl. Okay. So, feet about hip to shoulder width apart, making sure you know where that chair is before you sit down, making sure it's not going to slide on you or tilt on you or tip on you. You're going to take a seat on the first, front half of the chair, lean back, engage the abdominal muscles. When you do that, then palms facing forward, good firm grip, dry hands on the dumbbells, bicep curl, so bend those elbows all the way bent, and then straighten all the way, nice and controlled. You're going to lean back over your feet, stand up, and then nice and slowly take a seat back, lean backwards, keeping the feet on the ground, bicep curl, lean back over the feet, and stand up. Okay, try to keep those feet planted the whole time. Nice and easy, controlled breathing. Head and chest are gonna just be facing forward. Relax the shoulders. This is purely elbow with that bicep curl, and then we're getting some thighs and glutes with the sit to stand here. And then our lean backs are engaging the abdominal muscles, mostly in the front. Trying to keep that back nice and straight. All right, take a break there. We got about a 30-second break. I'll keep demonstrating and talking about this. So on your bicep curls, you can either keep the palms forward the whole time, or you can rotate the palms in at the bottom and then rotate, as you come up. So back and forth. This would be a supination curl. Sometimes it's a little more comfortable on the forearms and wrists, so depending on what's comfortable for you. And then make sure, again, you want to sit on the first part of the chair so that you have room to lean back before the back of the chair stops you. Okay. All right, let's start again. Second set, another minute. Lean forward over those feet, just putting a little bit of weight over those feet when you stand, and then weight back. And just commit, take a seat on that chair, a full sit. But again, just knowing where that chair is, and especially if if it's sitting on a slick hardwood, you don't want it to sliding back every time you kind of stand up or something, to where when you sit back down, maybe it's not where you thought it was. So just being real careful. And as always, breathing, never holding your breath. How far you lean back is up to you. How tall you are and how low that chair is could determine how tough the sit to stand is. And then of course the dumbbells you're using. A couple more seconds. All right, nice job there. Okay, so get rid of the dumbbells, but keep your chair and grab your resistance tubing or your band, whatever you have. With or without handles, doesn't matter. All right, so what we're gonna do, a seated incline chest press. So we're going to take a seat on the first half of the chair like we did, because we want to be able to lean back like we just did with those lean backs. What you'll do is you'll take the band and wrap it right around your bottom there, and then you're going to take a seat on it. All right. So what we'll do is you're going to rack right here at about armpits or just above the shoulders, kind of depending where. This is a little long for me, so I'm going to reach down a little bit further, not use the handles. I'm going to lean back, and then I'm going to push out and up. Okay. Make sure you have weight on that band so it's not going to pop up, over your low back. And you want to lean back, engaging those abdominal muscles. Keep those, the feet on the floor. And then you're pushing out and up, straightening the elbows fully. And then the hands will finish off right around the shoulders. You can bring those hands in at the top. And if you need a break, you can always sit back up, take a seat, and then when you're ready, lean back again and start that work again. The further you can lean back, the more chest you're going to get involved. Otherwise, it ends up being a lot more shoulders and the deltoid muscles. So really make sure, especially depending on how tough your band is. All right, take a break there. So we're getting abdominal muscles, low back having to stabilize, chest muscles, especially the upper fibers of the chest, triceps, back of the upper arms, and those are kind of the, in front deltoid in the front of the shoulder. Those are the main movers there. Again, always breathing, and just try to lean back as far as you can while keeping your feet on the ground. Try not to, lean back and touch the back of the chair. You don't want any help with that. Let your abdominals do the work. All right, let's get in position again. And just kind of grip wherever you want. The further down you grip, the more resistance you're gonna have with your tubing. The higher up you grip, the less resistance. So, if you don't have a multiple of different tubings to choose from for resistance, then just play around with where you grab on that tubing. You want, each side to be even, of course. You want the same amount of resistance on both sides, if both arms are working the same. But you want to make sure you have a decent amount of resistance also. So just kind of play around with that. Where you grab on that tubing determines how tough it is. And then you're pressing out and up, just kind of a diagonal. Hands will start right around the shoulders and end up more in front of the face, just above the head. A couple more seconds, keep going. Almost there. All right, nice job. Well done there. Okay, so you can keep seated if you want to, or you can do this one standing. This is a bow and arrow row. So we're going to use the tubing again, and we're going to pull it back. So one hand is going to be an anchor. The other hand is going to do the work rowing, working the upper back. Okay, so I think I'll switch bands here. If you want to use the handle, you can. If you don't have handles, it doesn't matter. Just grab onto the end of the tubing. So what you'll do, embracing the abdominals, keeping the hips steady, good wide stance at the feet, whatever works with you. One arm is gonna be out as the anchor, holding onto the tubing, and then the other palm's gonna face in. You're gonna pull backwards, okay? Elbow can go away from the body just a little bit, but hand's gonna stay close to the body and finish off right at the top of the ribs. Now, where I grab on the tubing makes a difference with how hard this is. If I grab in a little closer, now that tubing is a little harder. It's gonna give me some more work. All right, palm is gonna face in or down. As that elbow goes backwards, you're going to squeeze the shoulder blade towards the center of your spine. Working the upper back muscles between the shoulder blades. Good posture, up nice and tall. That anchor arm is straight out there, more in front of you, okay? Elbow is straight and locked. If you need to, what you can do is you can wrap that around so you don't have to grip the tubing as much. So kind of play around with where and if you end up wrapping. Nice firm grip, of course, dry hands. All right, take a break there. So we got about 30-second break, and then we'll do the other side. You can go back and forth if you like, 5 reps or whatever, and then switch sides or whatever works for you, or you can try to stick it out for the minute and do the other side the next minute. So again, when we start back up, just gonna give a little wrap here. And again, with handles or without, doesn't matter. And then you're going to pull back. Now, you don't want the hand going away from the body, okay? You don't want it going away from the body. You want to keep it nice and tight and close in. Elbow can flare out slightly. It can stay close to the body, or elbow can flare out. But hand is always going to finish off close to the body, especially. All right, let's begin here. Got about 50 seconds left. Nice and tall, good posture, breathing. Try to relax the shoulder. Try not to hunch up with it on the shoulder that's working here. And you can kind of play around with where that anchor hand is, whether it's straight out in front of you or up a little higher. Just kind of depends on what you're feeling. That anchor arm, the front arm here, of course, is going to get some work in the front deltoid of the shoulder. And then tricep, everything's having to hold and hold steady while you pull this band. And then this back arm, we're getting bicep in the front of the upper arm. We're getting a lot of upper back muscle between the shoulder blades, and then the rear deltoid in the back of the shoulder. A couple more seconds, keep going. All right, well done, nice job. Okay, next up we have a cardiovascular. So get rid of your band, clean your space, make sure you have a good arm's width of space all around you, 5 foot by 5 foot or more if you have. So get moving your chairs, moving coffee tables, making sure dumbbells aren't on the ground. You don't want to have anything to trip over. And you can get going right away on cardios, or there's a transition of about 30 seconds between the exercises. So you can grab a sip of water, Make sure you got that water bottle, and then it's, you're taking sips regularly through the class. All right, so I'm going to start back up. So cardio is just like the warm-up we did, but a little more intense, a little faster. We'll start off a little easier, and then we'll build on it. We got about 2 minutes and 20 seconds for the cardio. It's just a spike. We're looking to spike your heart rate back up. Then we go through 3 more strength exercises, and then we'll hit another cardio to spike the heart rate back up. So it's just kind of back and forth. All right, add some front punches here, just toe taps at the side. How fast you go is up to you. What you do is up to you. You can follow along, or you can do something else. If you've got a treadmill or a rowing machine right there, or you've got aerobic step, or you've done some Zumba classes, martial arts, any of that sort of stuff, whatever works for your little burst of cardio. Walking up and down your stairs. We just want to be moving continuously, trying to get the heart rate elevated, trying to get the breathing elevated, more so than we did with the warm-up. All right, back to a little march here. Let's start back here. I'm going to move forward 4 paces. 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 on the back and hold. You move whatever paces works for the size of space that you have. We go to a wide step here. We got about 1 minute and 5 seconds. So the intensity wise, let's go back to narrow. You want to be able to talk like I'm talking. If you can't talk to yourself out loud because you're so out of breath, that means you're probably doing too much and your heart rate's up too high. Let's go wide step. Move forward 4 paces here. 1, 2, 4, and hold, and narrow step. Now, you should not be able to sing. If you can sing and belt out a tune, fairly easily, then that means you're probably not working hard enough, and you need to go a little faster or do something to make the heart rate elevate more. All right, 25 seconds. Let's go wide step back. 1, and narrow forward. Wide step back. Narrow forward. And let's hold in place here, narrow. A couple more seconds. Keep moving. All right, good job. Again, we're looking at, around a 70% max for your heart rate. 70% of your maximum heart rate is what we're trying to go for. So nothing too high, but enough to keep the heart rate elevated throughout the whole class. Okay, so now we got heel raises and shrugs. So grab some dumbbells again. Heavier ones if you have them. Remember, nice firm grip, dry hands. You don't want to dump these, on your feet or on your floors. So stand back here, you can see the feet. So we're going to do a shrug and a heel raise. So a shrug, letting the arms just dangle at your sides. Elbows are straight. This is purely in the shoulder and the hunching position, okay? So you're going to hunch your shoulders up towards your ears. No elbows involved, okay? That's your shrug. Working the upper trapezius between the neck and shoulder. And then what we'll do is we'll add a heel raise and a little toe pop. Okay, so working the calf muscles and the shin muscles. Now, where you add that, shrug is up to you. Alternate back and forth, and on either one of these, whatever works with your balance, with your coordination, add the shrug. If you need to piece this out and do it all separately, that's fine too. You don't have to try to put it all together. Keep your balance. Up nice and tall, good posture, breathing. We don't want to get the neck muscles involved, so the head just stays neutral. It does whatever the chest is doing and looking straight ahead. Unless you need to take a glance, at me, you should just face the video. All right, take a break there. If you're facing the video, you don't have to worry about looking around and stuff. I'm showing you a side view, so I got to move that head around every once in a while, which is not optimal for the exercise. So if you're just watching, then just face forward. So working the calf muscles, the gastrocnemius, and then the tibialis anterior in the front of the shin. Great, exercise for lifting those toes up when you walk, so you don't trip on curbs or catch them on stairs or cracks in the grass or long carpet. If we lift those toes up, less chance of catching and tripping. All right, let's try it again. So again, position, and here we go, back and forth. So, feet are about hip to shoulder width apart, whatever's comfortable for you. Palms are going to face in, nice grip on those dumbbells, and then hunching up as high as you can. We're not doing circles or anything with the shoulders, it's just a hunch up and down. Sometimes I like to allow the dumbbells to just kind of hang a little differently, depending on what's comfortable with your grip. We got about 20 seconds, so keep it up here. Oh, and if you lose your balance, catch yourself and reset and start again. Sometimes lifting those toes up, you tend to lose your balance backwards. All right, nice job. Okay, let's keep one dumbbell and grab your mat. If you have a mat, we're going to do something on the floor. Pelvic tilt with pullovers. So on your back with your feet flat on the ground and your knees up, grabbing your dumbbell. Take your time getting up and down. All right, so nice and easy. Knees up and feet flat, so the hook lying position. All right. Hopefully the mic is not rubbing and stuff here. So pelvic tilt. So you have that lower in your low spine, kind of a curvature. What we're going to do is we're going to rotate the pelvis using the abdominal muscles to push your low back into the ground, bringing your belly button down towards your spine, pushing into the ground and holding. Trying to relax your glutes and your rear. Don't push through your legs. This is all abdominals and hips. And relax. Tilt and hold. Might be a couple seconds or 5 or 10 seconds. I got my hands up here just so you can kind of see this more. You can put your hands kind of wherever you want. We'll add some pullovers on the second set here. And relax. Remember to breathe. Never holding your breath. So bear down. Flex those abdominal muscles. You're flattening your spine against the ground firmly. Not as hard as you can, but nice and firm. Not pushing with your legs. Not lifting your hips off the ground at all. All right, you can take a break there. I'll keep demonstrating. Again, hips are firmly on the ground. No lifting up. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add with the dumbbell. Again, a firm grip. You don't want this dumping on your head. Holding that dumbbell whichever way works best for you. Now I'm going to tilt and hold, and then I'm going to bring that back close to the ground or all the way to the ground, whatever works for you, whatever height, and then back up in line with gravity. And then what I can do is I can relax. I can tilt and hold, bring this back as far as I feel comfortable. If you have a couple light dumbbells, you can do it with 2 dumbbells too, or just hold one. Go ahead and begin if you haven't. Adjust this mic. Can't tell if it's rubbing or not. So we're working upper back muscles, middle back muscles, and then abdominals, hips, low back, getting some work. You'll notice the further that weight goes back behind you on the ground, the more that tilt wants to pop up off the ground. So really, the tilt's the most important thing. Really focusing on keeping that tilt no matter where that dumbbell is. And if you find you can't hold the tilt, then just adjust the range of motion with this dumbbell. Maybe not going back as far. Just kind of playing around with that. All right, nice job. Okay, take your time getting up. Make sure everything's feeling good. No lightheadedness, no dizziness. Take your time. So get rid of your mat and clear your space. We're going to do a chair plank. So grabbing your chair. Pull this over. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so leaning forward, putting your hands on the chair, both hands. You're going to walk your feet back a little bit. and then allow your hips to drop forward so you're more in line. Ideally, you want your body in line from your shoulders down to your ankles at a diagonal, just putting some weight on the chair. The further you walk your feet back, the harder it's going to get, okay? So really making sure that your chair is nice and solid, that it's not going to tip on you or sideways. You're getting, good weight above the legs. It all depends on what kind of chair you have, but really, last thing you want is to have this chair tip or tilt on you. So do what you feel is comfortable and safe. But basically, heels can come off the ground, hips go forward. You do not want to sag, okay? You don't want those hips going too far forward, but you don't really want to be up here with your rear peaked up in the air either. So try to find the right spot for you that works. And that would pretty much be a line, looks like. Hands are right below your shoulders. And hold for 5 or 10 seconds. And then take a break and stand up. Get back into position, 5 or 10 seconds. Again, engaging the abdominal muscles, keeping everything tight and rigid. Elbows are going to be straight, wrists a little tougher on the wrists because the wrists are going to be down here. You can try to grab more the outsides of the chair if that feels comfortable, so that your wrists aren't as flat. So it all depends on what kind of chair you have, what kind of grip. You don't want your hands to slip off the chair, of course, but it all depends on what feels comfortable for your wrists too. Okay. Doing something like this on a countertop or something higher than a chair puts a little less weight on. Let's try it again. A little less weight on, which could make this easier too. So kind of play around with where you do this. On some stairs, on furniture that's solid, that's not going to move. Again, I've got this chair on this mat so that it doesn't slide on this wood floor. You don't want your chair sliding on you too. So if you're on carpet, you're probably okay. Just kind of depends on where you're doing this. Just be careful. And again, take breaks. Shake those hands out. Get back in position. Drop those hips. Hold nice and tight. Head just stays neutral, looking down. And breathing, of course. 5, 10, 15 seconds, whatever you want to do. Take a break, reset, and we are there. Okay, so let's get rid of the chair and clear your space. We have another cardiovascular here. Remember to grab a sip of water too. Great time to do that before cardio. Okay, so we got about 25 seconds of transition time in between, and you can start right away or you can wait for that. Again, cardio, we're just looking to get the heart rate elevated, just like we did last time, and you can follow along with what I'm doing or do something else. Whatever spikes your heart rate up for, good 2 minutes, 2 minutes and 20 seconds or so. All right, a little bit of side stepping to begin with, and we are officially going here. 2 minutes and 22 seconds left. Punch across the body. I'm just sidestepping here, back and forth. Utilize whatever room you have that you're using. You may be in a 2 foot by 2 foot box for all I know. So really making sure that what you're doing works well with your space. Making sure you have, if you can, good arms width of space so that you're not bumping into things with your hands. Make sure to lift those feet, especially if you're on carpet, so that they're not catching, especially the side to side stuff. Last thing you want is to catch your foot and lose your balance and topple over. Just come a little closer here. All right, switch to bicep curls and a little bit of knee curl. Okay, so back and forth here. Move around. If you have space, side to side and front to back, like I'm doing. If you don't, just utilize what you have. I can also see behind me, looking on the camera here. So if you're going backwards, make sure there's nothing, nothing to trip on. All right. Do little singles here. And back to side. Add a little scissors with the arms. Palms up. And you can kind of alternate back and forth with the hands. 50 seconds left. Again, how tough this is up to you. Speed it up or slow it down. Whatever is safe for you, whatever works for balance. If you need to sit and just do upper body stuff, if you're having knee or hip issues, feet issues, you can sit and do cardio too. Just work the arms. Just consistent movement. I'm just walking a little bit back and forth. 20 seconds left. Some chicken wings. A little bit of middle deltoid work here. Nice and controlled. It's okay to get some momentum going because we don't have any resistance or weights that we're doing. Maybe you should be able to talk but not sing. Test yourself every once in a while. All right, well done. Okay, so next thing we got is the figure 8 squat. So grab a dumbbell, one dumbbell, probably a smaller dumbbell. Kind of depends how long your arms are, how long your legs are. This one's a little weird. So a nice wide squat. Feet are wide apart, probably wider than hips and shoulders. Toes are going to flare out slightly. When we squat, we're going to take a seat. Weight's going to be a little bit more on the heel and the arches. We're going to, head and chest are going to try to face forward as best you can. The low back is going to be straight, as opposed to, we don't want this sort of stuff. We want this, okay? And then what you'll do is you're going to figure 8, pass this dumbbell around your legs and stand back up. Take a seat, pass it behind you, and then around and behind, and then stand back up, okay? So again, how low you go is up to you. Trying to keep your rump backwards like it's being pulled back and down. Whoops, trying to keep that balance, right? Nice and easy. Head and chest is going to face forward as best you can. A little tougher to keep good form when you're passing the weights between. So do your best. Nice, easy. I've got a small, 5 pound. It's easy to kind of grab the bell part. The bigger the weight, the harder it's going to be to grab. So just kind of play around with what works for you. You can do this with kettlebells. Just kind of, your torso is going to twist and move a little bit side to side as you go to grab that. Take a break there. Again, remember, it depends on how long your arms and limbs and stuff are. I'm on the shorter side, so it takes a little bit more work to get this around through the legs and stuff. So do what works best for you. Even if that means maybe you just come down here and then pass it and then tap yourself in the back of the rump. That sort of stuff. Just kind of play around with stuff. It doesn't necessarily have to be the figure 8, whatever works for your body, okay? And breathing like usual, always breathing, never holding your breath. Okay, let's try it this way. I'll do a little front view. So nice and wide, taking a seat, and then just kind of reaching and grabbing, sitting back up, standing back up. How low you go is up to you. Weight's going to shift a little bit side to side, depending on which side the dumbbell is. You may notice a little bit of weight shifting on the legs. But really stick that rear out. Weight goes back to your heels a little bit more. And trying as best you can, keep head and chest up and facing forward. Keep that low back straight. Almost there, 20 seconds. This one's a little more of a full body exercise. We're getting a decent amount of low back and core stabilizing. Thighs and the rear are doing quite a bit of work. And then a little bit of shoulders, back and chest, having to help out. All right, nice job, well done. Okay, take a break there. We got about 30 seconds. Next we have is the ladder climb. So you can do this with or without dumbbells, smaller dumbbells. But what we'll do is this sort of motion here. Palms are going to face in, maybe forward a little bit. And then marching. And you can do it just alternating back and forth. Same leg, same arm, or opposite leg and arm, doesn't matter, okay? We're working deltoids here, front and middle in the shoulder, some tricep in the back of the arm, and then a lot of hip flexor, front of the thigh. All right, so let's get in position here. Again, with or without dumbbells, whatever works for you. Rack the dumbbells right here above your shoulders. Elbows are down, and then up here. So if you're using dumbbells, See how my hands never go below my shoulders? Okay, I'm not doing this, okay? It's everything is up here the whole time. Think about if you're grabbing the next rung up on the ladder above your head and you're stepping up on the next rung of a ladder. Nice and controlled, okay? Nice and slow. You want to keep continuous, but you don't want to get going too fast. We don't want momentum involved. We don't want to lose your balance either. So nice and controlled. "12 seconds. Keep moving. Good grip, firm grip on those dumbbells, right? All right, take a break there. Shake those arms and shoulders out. So good work on the hip flexors, front of the hips, and then shoulders, of course, are getting some good work with that shoulder press. You can play around, elbows out a little bit more. Gets more of a military press. A little tougher to do with this one. Probably easier to keep those elbows in more. It's going to focus front deltoid a little more. All right, 6 seconds. Let's get back into position. Grab those dumbbells, dry hands, rack them right above the shoulders in the front, and here we go. And we're off. Slow and controlled. Same arm, same leg, or alternating, whatever your coordination allows. If you're having balance issues, maybe just the shoulder presses for a little bit and then marches a little bit. Piece them out. Don't try to do them at the same time. It all depends on what's comfortable and safe for you. A little bit of burning in those shoulders right now. Over halfway there. We got about 23 seconds left. Slow your repetitions up if you need to. And how high you march is up to you. You can also adjust the range of motion on the elbows. If it bugs you to punch up too high, then just keep those so the elbow doesn't go higher than the shoulder. Play around with the range of motion there. All right. Nice job. Okay. So we got one more strength training exercise. Get rid of the dumbbells and grab your resistance tubing. All right. Tubing or band, whatever you're going to use. So, with or without handles, you're going to bring this around and behind you. So if I'm going to work, say this arm, the right arm, okay, work the right arm, I'm going to grab it up here, elbow straight up in the air. I'm going to go diagonal and bring the other side down to the back and side of the hip. This is my anchor down here. I'm going to anchor, and then I'm going to bring this forward, okay, this sort of motion here. Now, got to adjust this a little bit. So what we're going to do here is over the shoulder, straighten and bend. Straighten and bend. So I've got it anchored at the hip on my left side. It goes diagonal up and over my shoulder, between my neck and shoulder. Elbow is going to point forward, and then I'm just straightening and bending the elbow. Straightening and bending. Got about 20 seconds left. Here we're working tricep, so back of the upper arm. Getting a little bit of work on those shoulders and deltoids, having to hold that arm out there in front. Brace the core. Give yourself, a good stance. Anchor that. Where you grab on this is up to you. If I pull a little tighter down at the anchor part and stretch that band a little more, it's going to give me more resistance. So just kind of play around with that. Let's take a break here, 30 seconds, and then we'll do the other side. You can jump back and forth, between sides, or try for the whole minute. So now what I'll do, opposite side. I'm going to anchor with the right arm down at the hip here, and then bring this diagonal to the opposite shoulder. Straighten that elbow up, then bring it in front of me. And then from there, then I can start bending and straightening. All right, let's begin here. Good stance. And of course, remember how much you grab on this band is going to determine how tough it is, or how thick and tough the band is to begin with. But if you have, if all you have is a lighter band and this is too easy, then just grab a little bit, more on that bottom part and pull. So now it transfers a little bit more resistance up through the top. And that band is just going to kind of rub back and forth. Hammer press. Okay, tricep hammer press as if we're, as if you're hammering something. Palm is facing in the whole time. Almost there. All right, nice job there. Well done. Okay, getting rid of the tubing here. We've got our last cardio. So again, you can get going right away, or you can take that 30-second transition, grab some water. Sorry for the big slurp. Okay, I'm gonna get moving here right away. Do a little bit of front heel taps here to start. And we add a little bit of front punching. So one more time to spike up this heart rate, get it up nice and high. Enough that you cannot sing, but you can talk. All right. Now, if you really want to focus on cardio in this class more so than the weights and strength, sure, then use this to really push into a high target heart rate, whatever that is for you. 80% of your max or something. But if you just want to keep the heart rate elevated throughout the whole class, burn some good fat calories, then just keep it a little lower heart rate, so a little easier on the cardios. All right. A little bit of side tapping, combing my hair here, sides of my hair. There you go. Always think, try to think good posture for the most part. Up nice and tall, breathing. All right, do some low grabs here. Grab and pull, grab and pull. Just a little bit of rotation here. Whatever's comfortable for you for your rotation. If you're having spinal issues, make sure it's nice and controlled. Maybe a little slower, a little less rotation, a little less bending, whatever you need to do for your body. And now I'm going to really rotate and grab opposite, about chest height. Really twisting the hips. I'm allowing my feet to pivot. Keep moving. We got another 50 seconds, so push it hard. And we got a little bit of cool down after this. So we'll spend a couple minutes cooling down. So push that heart rate. Get it going a little faster here. To the side. Get up a little higher. And I'm going to grab and pull. Grab and pull, grab and pull. Up even higher. Go back to a side step. Grab and pull. And back to some bicep curls. Hammer curls here. Okay, so nice and easy. Now we go on to 2 minutes of cool down. So the opposite of the warm-up. Get nice and easy. Let's just go back to a march. We actively want to get our heart rate down below 100 beats per minute. So if you're counting and checking heart rates, 100 beats per minute or below is deemed safe for a cool down to be done with the workout. If your heart rate's up, above 100. So we got about 1 minute and 30 seconds. Let's do a little bit of heel walking. So see how my toes are up in the air. I'm just going to walk around kind of whatever space you have. Walk forward and backward, whatever works for you. We're just trying to get the heart rate back down, so some gentle moving. Now I'm going to walk on the toes a little bit. A little bit of balance with this too, of course. Getting some calf muscles going. I'm just trying to get the heart rate down, and you do what you need to. If that means just marching in place slowly, or maybe your heart rate's already down and you're ready to go. It all depends. Everybody's different. So again, nice and easy, a little marching here. All right, I'm gonna up and over, like a stepping over logs. A little bit of balance work here with this one. Controlled, nice and slow. We're still moving, allowing our body to cool down, allowing the blood to circulate through the body and not pool into the large muscle groups. Couple more. Looking good there. Sleeping dogs or lying logs, whatever you're stepping over. Excellent. Okay, just keep marching. All right, nice job here. Okay, so we're going to start a little bit of balance here. We got about 2 minutes of balance work. We can do that on a single leg, so grab a chair if you need something to hold on to, or standing next to a wall or a window sill. What we can do here is a single leg balance, just balancing on one leg. Okay. And just try to hold that as long as you feel comfortable. If you need to put a toe on the ground or catch yourself a little bit, or maybe a finger on the wall or something, whatever works for you. If this is too easy, then swinging your limbs a little bit, closing one eye, closing both eyes will adjust how tough balancing is. If you have a ball that you want to bounce and catch, or throw on the wall and catch, that sort of stuff. Okay, let's try the other leg a little bit. And you may notice one leg's a little easier or a little tougher than others. So this is kind of the basic one, just kind of a static hold. If you want to play around and move a little bit, you can do a sleeping dog and then hold 3 seconds. Sleeping dog, nice big step, hold for 2 or 3 or 5 seconds, whatever, and then a nice big stepping over the dog or log, holding, step over, hold. Okay, a little bit more dynamic work here, moving. Okay, so we got about another minute left of balance work. Let's keep stepping over. All right, let's try a little bit of work here, heel to toe. So I'm going to start way back here, and then I'm going to heel to toe walk. Try not to look at my feet or anything. Okay. Now, how much you do this is up to you. As far as when I'm doing this, if I'm on a tightrope, real skinny tightrope, and my feet are actually touching, that's going to be the toughest. Okay. If I can make a little bigger step where the feet aren't touching, but I'm still in a tightrope. Or maybe I'm staggered slightly to where I'm doing this, but feet are a little more side to side. Okay, so kind of play around. The wider the feet are, the more base you have, the easier the balance is going to be. Okay, so this is going to be pretty easy, right? As opposed to if I'm even in a little closer, even just the width of my foot on the outside gets a little bit tougher. So play around with the balance a little bit, different things, down if you got a hallway, next to the wall, that sort of stuff, whatever works for you. Challenge your balance and catch yourself when you lose your balance, but be safe about it. Okay. All right, nice job. We're going to finish off with some stretches and then we'll be done. So first one here, this sort of motion. I'm going to bring the leg out straight in front. What I want to do is stretch the back of the thigh back here. So I'm going to hinge a little bit at the waist. I'm going to sit slightly, and I'm going to dig the heel in on that front leg and try to stretch the back of the thigh, behind the knee, maybe in the calf and rump a little bit. Nice and gentle, holding that stretch. Good 20 or 30 seconds. Excellent. Let's try the other side here. So nice and easy, digging that heel in. Just stretching out the back of the thigh, behind the knee. Okay, head is going to be neutral. Try not to lean over too far. Try to keep that head above your heart. Try to relax that leg that you're stretching. And no jerking, no bouncing. Really make sure it's a static hold. Okay, and breathing. All right, nice job. Let's try another one. So here, that pelvic tilt we did on the ground. Now I'm going to thrust the hips forward, Squeezing the cheeks together, straightening out that low back like I'm pelvic tilting. Interlace my fingers, look at my palms, and then I'm just going to push the hands away from the body as far as I can. Try not to hunch the shoulders, try to relax the shoulders. And I'm just going to push out. I'm going to round out the middle and upper back. Low back is going to stay more straight. Keep breathing. You're going to get a little stretch in the forearms, in these extensors here in the forearms. Keep breathing. Looking good there. Again, head just stays neutral, looking at your fingers. All right, one more stretch here. Looking at the chest. So chest, fronts of the shoulders. Here we're going to go kind of a field goal position. All right, so elbows are bent. Elbows are parallel to the ground. I'm going to bring the elbows backwards. The arms and the elbows are going to go backwards. I'm squeezing the shoulder blades together towards my spine. If you want, you can start bringing those hands in behind the head, behind the ears, and really bring those elbows back. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Expand the chest, expand the torso, elongate yourself, leaning back a little if you need to. And now straighten those elbows. Palms are up, thumbs are back, and really reach back as far as you can. Squeezing those shoulder blades together again, trying to stretch out the front. Now I'm going to dip my fingers down, bend my wrists backwards. I'm going to get a stretch in the wrists and the forearms there along with this. And hold that position. Head stays neutral and breathing. All right, nice job. Okay, shake it out there. All right, that's all we got today. I hope you enjoyed the workout. Well done today.